Hi, and welcome back to Learn with Lowly. It is so good to see everybody in a new week. Today, I wanted to take the time to talk about creativity and some attributes that creative people have. I was in one of my educational psychology classes. This one is Applied Family Theory, and we read this amazing article by Jacquard and Jacoby, and it had some amazing quotes that I just had to share with you. For example, some people use intelligence to please the crowd, others to defy it. Another great quote from this article was, people are rarely creative unless they really love the work that they are doing, and they focus on the work more than the rewards that they might get from doing the work. Just so many brain explosions, because those things are so true, and as soon as you say them or as soon as you hear them or read them, they immediately ring like, wow, this is a great truth of life. Why didn't I realize this before? But it's a combination of words that I personally had never put together, and I just found to be amazing. But what I wanted to focus specifically on is the attributes that they describe that creative people consistently have across all different fields, all different domains, whether it's creativity in sport or creativity in music or creativity in science, creativity in technology, creativity in math. I didn't realize there's creativity in math. My bad. But there's so many different realms that you can be creative in, and they list specific characteristics that all of these people from all of these different professions have because they are considered to be creative. The first one is that creative people trust their intuition. They intuitively follow their own instincts when it comes to some things and are okay with bending certain rules or doing things in an unconventional way if they feel that is what will get them to their finest outcome. Another one is that creative people are independent. They don't have to be given a lot of direction or be micromanaged in order to get the work done. They are independently curious. They want to figure things out. They will go an extra mile, which is why Jacquard and Jacoby really say that creative people love what they do, not necessarily what they can get from what they do, because they're in it for the work. They're in it because of their interest in what they are doing, and that is what allows them to take their independence and to go the extra mile. If you've ever seen someone work on something that they love, you know that they don't really like to put a time limit on it. And even if they do, even if they have to work a certain amount of hours, they might easily work extra or go in on the weekend or think about that project throughout the day because it is constantly on their mind. It's something that they really care about. Number 3, creative people take risks. Yes, that can look like dyeing your hair and getting a face tattoo and 15 piercings, but it can also look like going on a limb or trying a new formula or composing your own piece on the piano and riffing and going off of something and doing something unexpected, doing something that hasn't necessarily been done before. If you think about any of the great pioneers of their professions, like Steve Jobs or Oprah or any other creative that has really made a big impact on their field, Shonda Rhimes, so you know that they got to where they are partially because they were doing things that other people either A, weren't thinking to do, or B, were too fearful or scared or intimidated to do. So creative people take risks. Number 4, creative people have self-confidence. You kind of have to if you're going to take risk and if you're going to be independent and if you're going to listen to your intuition. A big piece of the thing that will propel you to do these things is to have self-confidence. And there are so many ways to build self-confidence, but a common misconception that people have is that self-confidence is something that comes and then you go do the thing that you've been thinking about doing. When in reality, self-confidence comes from accomplishing things and watching yourself do things that you thought weren't possible or that you thought you couldn't do. That's what self-confidence really is. And if you wait for it to just kind of happen to you, you'll be waiting for most of your life. Self-confidence has a lot to do with falling down and scraping your knee and getting one of those band-aids that don't really match your skin tone and then getting back up. And that's what creative people do. Next, creative people can explain really big ideas. Have you ever had a professor or a teacher or a mentor say something to you that was just so above your head that you couldn't understand it while they were saying it to you, let alone remember it later? Creative people take the time to break down ideas so that you or I or any other person not in that field can actually understand what they mean and gain some source of value from what they're saying. Number 6, creative people are intensely curious. They look for questions, they write them down, they seek the answers, they talk to people, they learn about different perspectives, and then they go back to their own field and they incorporate this beautiful collage of ideas that they have gathered. A lot of really successful creative people aren't only creative in the field that they're in, but they have intense interests and intense hobbies outside of their field that actually give them space and room to think about how to do things in a new way. Number 7, creative people play. They enjoy downtime to just try something new, and playing doesn't necessarily have to look like using a coloring book or playing dress up, though those are some of my favorite ways to play. But it can look like tinkering around, it could look like video games, it could look like trying a new recipe, it could look like anything that they're not taking very seriously, that doesn't have a very serious outcome, and they're just doing for fun, for the enjoyment of it. It could be walking the dogs. It's kind of the opposite of play to put play into a strict box of what it can be and what it cannot be. But basically, it's whatever your brain can do to unwind itself and relax and to go away from a project or a deadline or a due date and just to be and create something new. Number 8, creative people are mentally flexible. If you've ever met someone who's mentally rigid, who doesn't allow different perspectives or different viewpoints to have space around them, who immediately attacks or fights something that's different than what they believe, then you know the opposite of mental flexibility. Mental flexibility means that you allow ideas to come, you observe them, you might play with them for a while. If they suit you, you might keep them. If they don't, you let them go. But you don't fight things and say that's not possible, or I don't believe that, or that's not true. You don't resist. Being mentally flexible means that you're willing to have conversations and learn different perspectives and hear people's stories and consider them as true, even if they may not reflect your own reality. The last one, number 9, creative people try new things. Whether that looks like learning how to TikTok, or moving to a new place, or starting a new friendship, or trying a new tutorial on YouTube to learn how to do something, maybe with a saw, maybe with a paintbrush, maybe with a makeup brush. But whatever the case may be, creative people aren't scared of getting their feet wet and trying something hands-on, or at least researching it and considering how they would go about doing that thing. Trying something new is literally one of the best ways that you can spend your time, because not only will it build up your confidence, which is important and you need in order to act on your creative impulses. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Like I said earlier, all of the links to the articles and the quotes that I found to just be amazing are going to be below. Please comment if you found this video interesting, if you have anything else that I should look at when it comes to your creativity, or if you've read this article before. If you're interested in working with me one-on-one, please go to my website, learnwithlily.com, and sign up for your free 30-minute consultation session. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share the videos that have helped you the most, and I will see you next week.